welcome back for another amazing Breshna breakdown where we break down our Breshna editor. I am Lindsay here, and we are No Code Game Maker. If you've never known or if you've never heard of us, welcome. We're No Code Game Maker that empowers a non-tech, non-gamer audience to create games with no cost, at no code, and at lightning speed. It's really fun, it's really easy, and it's free to use. So go ahead and breshna.io. This is our homepage. This is our website where you can go and just check everything out, right? We have 22 different templates right here. Before we dive in, what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be using this Trails and Turns template, and you can see as he comes around, this little avatar grows as he gathers all of our collectibles, right? And so the nice thing about this game is it has a really cool aspect when you go to create your own avatar. So you can see here he's getting longer, and he's got like these little, I guess, truck cars that are behind it, right? And so when we create an actual avatar for this, we can decide whatever is the front thing, whatever is that little bus right here, and we can decide whatever is the back thing. So whatever they're collecting or whatever you want to be showing up behind them, then you can do that. So we're going to do that together. Before we get in, this must have gone live today. We have Tap and Tumble. Oh my gosh, I love this game. Okay, so you guys know, I forget what the name is of the game, but the games where you tap, 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 and the thing goes up, and then you release, and it kind of starts to come back down. That's what this game is. Now, I haven't played it, so we will go into this next week. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so glad that she's live. It's been so cool. Couple of announcements just really quick because I think that this is really exciting. We are now officially patented. We have an actual approved patent that has to do with game makers and inputting avatars and assets into video games and things like that. And as we go forward this year, we're ideally hoping for this year, but it may be next year, you never know. We are actually going to be enabling you guys to put your NFTs in these games. So right now, you can do that kind of anyway, right? If I wanted to have a Bored Ape collecting bananas and having the bananas come up behind him, I could do that simply by uploading avatar frames, and then it's a simple JPEG, right? But it's not your actual NFT. As we go through this year, that is going to be something that we're playing with and that we're enabling you guys to do. It's really, really cool. We're so excited about it. So anyway, I've clicked in. I'm going to click back really quick to the home page just so that you guys can see me click in. I'm coming down. Trails and Turns is that very first one right here. We really love it. So we're going to go ahead and just click create, and then it brings it into our classic editor. So this classic editor has two sides here, two kind of panels, and on the left side, the left panel is our visual audio. So this is where you are going to switch all of your graphics, your background, your avatar. You can come in and you can just select things that other people have created, right? Whatever that you want. Or whatever you want to do. You can also come down into Bolt Squad uploads, and these Bolt Squad uploads are the things that like you and I have actually made. So this avatar, this one, this guy, a couple of these, all of these are ones that I have made personally. And so I've left them public so other people can use them. If somebody else wants to have a basketball player collecting basketballs behind him, they can actually do that. So we're really, it's super cool. I really love that aspect because the more people who use Breshna, the more representative it is, right? Like people are going to start doing their own versions of cars, whatever is the most popular car in their country, or whatever thing that they want to do. Maybe they have cricket players, right? Cricket is not super popular here in the US, which is what I made this game for, but it is super popular everywhere else around the world, right? So maybe you have a cricket player. Anyway, so we're going to go through all of this. We're going to go through all of it. But I want to get into the avatar part because I want that to be the bulk of this, right? We go through a lot of these together on these lives. And then, of course, there are tutorial videos for all of our templates, right? So you can actually go in and really understand how to use each template simply by going into the tutorial video. And then, of course, if you guys ever want us to do anything live, you are welcome to leave a comment here. Just totally up to you. We're happy to make your games for you live if you'd like. So, doing our avatar. I'm going to go ahead and click over into Canva, and I'm going to show you how I make these avatars. So I'm going to come up right here to my custom size, and in this particular one, so let me click back one more second really quick. If I go into avatar and I click upload avatar frames, you can see that it says 450 by 450 pixels. Typically our avatars or a lot of our things are like 256 by 256. So just be aware of that. I'm pretty sure it works either way. But when I create custom sizes, I just immediately go to whatever it is that that thing asks for, right? So I'm going to do 450 by 450, and then we're going to create our new design. So let me show you, actually before we get into this, because I did want to show you, this is Basketball Blast. So this is what I have made. It's an entertainment game. Basketball is super popular over here, so we've done this. When I go to play this, the idea is that he's gathering basketballs, he's avoiding being carded, although I do think these are technically like football soccer cards here. I'm not sure. I actually don't watch basketball. So, but you can see he's gathering basketballs and they show up behind him. Oh, this is going to be a hard one to get. But they're really big, and it's not like basketballs aren't bigger than your head, right? I actually think that they are, but they're also just really big, and I don't love it. I don't love the way it looks. I feel like I kind of lose him as it gets bigger. So what we're going to try today, oh, and I lost, look at that. And so I'm going to go ahead and just pause this. We're going to click out of that. So what we're going to try today is making this a lot smaller. So we're going to make little teeny tiny basketballs, and they're going to attach with rope, or they're going to attach with two basketballs. So let me show you what I mean. I'm here in Canva. I'm going to go ahead and click Elements, and then I'm going to search for basketball. Right there. So a great basketball pops right up. So when I first did this, this was how I made that basketball, and I made it just like this. And then this is what I uploaded when I went and uploaded the actual avatar. This is really big. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it about half size, maybe even a little bit more, and then I'm going to bring it into the center. Boom, just like that. Actually, I'm going to bring it all the way up to the top. Okay, so here, let's even make this a teeny bit bigger, huh? Just like that. So from here, what's going to happen is I'm going to go ahead and click duplicate, and if I back off a little bit, I can see how this is going to show up in the game. And so I can see that there is actually going to be a big spot right here that's just blank, which is fine. It just means that the basketballs are going to show up a little bit further away from each other. I don't know that I want that in my game, so if you want that in your game, then this is fine. Perfect. But I would like them to be attached, and so I'm actually going to look for a rope, and we're going to come in here, and we're going to choose one of these different ropes, right? So I could do something like this that has kind of a squiggle. That actually doesn't look that bad. Put that back. Okay, and so when I do that, back. Okay, so when I do that, I can see that that actually kind of looks nice. I don't know if I want this little twirly cue in there, because especially when you're pulling on the basketballs, if you were pulling them in a line, they would be nice and taut. So maybe we'll do multiples of these. So I'm actually going to duplicate this again. We're going to get rid of this. And then is this a nice taut? It is a very skinny rope. Here we go. That's better. Let's bring this one down. Oh no. Oh dear. There she goes. Okay. So I'm going to bring this down. Let's actually come in a little bit further so I could do this easier. We're going to flip this to 90 degrees. And then I'm going to pull it that. I'm going to make sure that it is fully centered so that it is right in the center of that basketball, and it's going to look more like that. So then I can duplicate it again. This is what it's going to look like. I think this is what I'm going to end up doing. I may end up doing this one too, just so that we can see which one works better. Sometimes it feels like one's going to look better. Sometimes it feels like the other. You never know. Okay, so we've got these basketballs. The last thing that I could do that I was thinking of is instead of even having a rope, we just double up the basketballs, right? So we've got to make them a little bit smaller. Let me go ahead and delete that so I can just duplicate her. Okay, and then we duplicate, and then we bring it down. So I even think I want them to be a little bit bigger so that maybe they're like that. And again, if I go and I duplicate, this is what that's going to look like. So it looks pretty nice, right? With just this kind of row of basketballs. Now this is not going to take up more space. This is going to, so it's not like all of a sudden you're getting 2 basketballs for every 1 basketball that you're gathering, right? It's the same amount. It's like technically it's 2, but it is the same amount, so it's not harder. It's not making the game more difficult. It's kind of a bummer that you can't do that, because it would be kind of neat to be able to kind of just push it to the limit. But okay, so this is how we're going to do this. So now I don't need these duplicates. Oops, we just duplicated again. We don't need to do that. There, we've got our 3 options here, and we're gonna try all of them. So I'm gonna go ahead and click share, and I'm gonna download. And then I do have the pro version. You can see this little a crown right here. So it is the pro version, but you guys can use a ton of different options to cut out these backgrounds. So if you want cut out so that they're really nice and they give a good shape and everything like that, then you'll want to make sure that you do cut them out. And you could use, there's so many different things for you guys to use that for. Oh, I went to the wrong thing. Let's get into avatars. I'm just going to go ahead and click that. I'm on a PC, so I have to come over here and extract. And actually, hang on. Hang on, sorry guys. Let me make a different folder, because I didn't name them when I was, so I'll just call it a new folder, that's fine. Extract into the new folder. Sorry guys, hang on just 2 seconds. There we go. Now we are extracted. Okay, so now I have my basketballs. I'm realizing right now I don't have my guy on here. So let me go ahead and just grab him like this. We're going to say athlete. And let me try and grab his head. Athlete. Oh. Head, where is it? Maybe I wrote basketball player last time? Let me see if we can find him. So we've got this. Maybe we go kind of LeBron-ish. Let me see. Where was that head? You guys, that head was so perfect. Basketball player head. I don't like any of these. And one of the things you have to watch out for as well is when you go and you use, actually I'll show you guys what this looks like as well. When you go and you use something that's like this, where it's a full body, it sometimes can get a little bit small, and then you want to adjust your trail. You want to adjust whatever is trailing for that size kind of a thing. So let me just go ahead. We're just going to use this guy. We'll make it a little bit different. And here we go. There, it'll just be like that. So now let me grab this as well. We're going transparent background, not all 4 pages. We're just, oh, no. We're on page 2. Download. And I'm going to put this in the basketball. Right here. All right. Now we've got our guy, and we've got options to put as our basketball. So we're going to click back over here and into our avatar. And I'm going to upload avatar frames here. So now this is how we get that thing. So let me lower this down so I can get everything in here. Okay, so we're 450 by 450. We've done all of this correctly. We know this at this point. Let me get into my games. We're grabbing our avatar in our basketball folder. We've got our athlete, right? He's a basketball player. Then we're coming in here and we're going to try 3 different options. So this little one over here, it says body. That means it's whatever's trailing you. This preview image is literally what is the avatar, right? So we had the basketball player going around gathering basketballs. This is a basketball player. This is the basketballs. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to basketball and Basketball, wow, that's funny. That name just broke in my head. Athlete, what else are we doing? Sports, athletics. I don't even know. I feel like there's a lot more options that we can do here. So the title is just a title of your thing. That I honestly am not positive where that pops up, but your tags are really important. So tags allow you or others to search for your avatar, right? So I have mine in public, right? We saw that, those Bolt Squad uploads, my avatars are often in there because I want to leave them public. I can decide to leave them private. Either way, you probably want to do this because I find that I love certain templates, and then I upload a lot of different avatars or a lot of different collectibles or stuff like that, and I do like to be able to just go ahead and click and search for it instead of having to like search in the search bar, instead of having to literally physically search through all of my different collectibles, because there are some of them where I think I might have 50 collectibles, right? So we want to make sure that we can search for our own avatars or our own assets, and that other people, if we keep them public. So I am going to leave this public, and we're going to upload this. Now we're going to upload another thing. Actually, you know what? Let me think this really quick. So this is actually a rose with a stem that the rose will grow. I'm just going to show you guys that in a little bit. So let me come back here. Can we change the color? Yes. We're going to change the color of his jersey here. We're going to go like that, and I'm going to make a duplicate, and then we're going to say, okay, purple. Why is it not showing? There it goes. Now we can figure out which one of these has which, right? So now I'm going to go ahead and download this one more time. Transparent background. We're just doing 2 and 3. And we're downloading. Let me get this into my new basketball folder. Save. And we are extracting here. And, okay. Beautiful. Now we're back. So I'm going to go ahead and upload my avatar again. We are going this time for our blue jersey, and the blue jersey is going to have the, oh my goodness, I think I did the double basketballs. I'm gonna have to play my avatar to remember which one. Hang on, I'm almost positive I did not do this one, so we're gonna go ahead and do this one, but I have to go double check. So basketball, we've got sports, we've got athlete, we've got athletics. I know that there's some tags that I should be applying that I can't think of right now, but oh well. Okay, so let me go ahead and choose. So if we go into view more, you can see I've got my yellow, I've got my blue. We will upload our purple in just a second, but I do want to see what this guy looks like so I can make sure that I'm uploading the right avatar. Sometimes I do not, my memory is terrible. So a lot of the time it just, I end up forgetting something that I should have remembered because it was 2 seconds ago. But it is what it is. All right, so let's see. In this right now, this is like mostly the default game. In the default game, you are, yeah, I was right. Okay. In the default game, you're collecting vowels of the English language, and you are avoiding consonants. All right, so now we're getting our purple guy in here, and we are going to go for the body, which is our squiggly rope here. And then finally, we've got our last one, basketball. And all of those are going to be public. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and, ooh, we're loading quite a bit. You guys, my internet has been so weird. I actually right now have a half a second delay on my camera, and it's really funny because it's throwing me off just a little bit. So, oh my goodness. Okay, let's see if this is gonna upload for us. Uh-oh. Yeah, so one of the cool things while this uploads, let me just show you this really cool. So in this case, the rose itself is the actual avatar. And then as you go along, you're collecting sun and you're collecting water. And so as you go along, this actually gets longer and longer and stems get added. So I'm actually just going to show you, let's go back really quick and see if this is uploaded. I might have to refresh this. Something went wrong. That's okay. Let's try this again. Bonk. And we are doing our squiggly rope one more time. The legs and, oh, not and, just sports. Upload. Oh no, something's going on. That's interesting. But that's okay. Oh, there she goes. All right. So, okay, so let me do that in just a second. We're good on time. So I'm gonna show you guys, we're gonna go through the rest of this and then we'll switch to the next one. Okay, so I've already uploaded this. You can upload your own frames simply with a JPEG, just like we've been doing with the avatar, except for this time you're gonna have a different pixel size, 1920 by 1080, and then, you know, it's just going to be its own thing. And it's only the one, right? Because you're not going to have anything trailing. There's no other things. So what I've done is I've actually uploaded a basketball court so that he's actually going around the basketball court. So we've got our we've got our background, we've got our avatar. Our obstacles are those things that are literally in the way that you're going around. And so in a basketball court, it can be a little bit complicated. I considered having maybe like cones or something else, or maybe something that a fan would have thrown onto the onto the court. Maybe this is a case of like the audience is going wild and throwing things, and they're picking up the basketballs to run away. I don't know, right? But instead I'm just using this guy. I do really like to do stuff that contrasts against whatever the background is. It can get a little bit frustrating. Like, for example, let me just show this really quick. This is our default ground, right? And then we have an obstacle that is a bush like this. And you can see that the bush and these little green things actually like mesh together, they meld together. So I found that when I did this obstacle on this background, it was actually really frustrating because I kept reading what was a bush and what wasn't a bush. Now, if you want to challenge your players and you want that to be something that they have to battle with, cool, up to you. But for me, I personally prefer to make it something that's a little bit more contrasting. I just think it looks better, and I think it lends to a more fun play. Okay, so now we're going into collectibles. And what we are collecting here is basketballs. So I believe I have this all the way down at the bottom. I don't. Maybe this was something that was already in. Yeah, so we've got 3 different basketballs. 1, 2, 3. Boom, now we've got 3 basketballs. You can see as I add things, they come in and they fill in over on the opposite side, on our kind of like our verbal side. This side has the descriptions, it has the titles, it has anything that you want, introductions, questions. That question will show up down here so that they know what they're catching. Right now it says catch vowels, but we are going to switch that, right? And you can see that these pop in down here. So I don't want any vowels, and I'm just going to click out of that A-E-I-O-U. And now all I have is basketballs, right? So now I'm going to get rid of the non-collectibles as well. And I could come over and just click non-collectibles, or I could click add asset and it clicks me over to the exact same spot. It's totally up to you. So we have those cards like this, and I think that this is a perfect non-collectible. One of the things you do want to note, so in a lot of our other templates, you can do things where you have lots of different non-collectibles, and if it's something that you want them to see the different non-collectibles, you might want to use kind of a different template, or just figure out the way that you're going to do this, because there's only one thing at any given time. So this only pops up once, and if you don't click it, if you don't run into it, it doesn't come again. It doesn't refresh, right? Same thing with this. There's only going to be one basketball on the court at any given time, and so if you don't collect it, it doesn't move on to the next thing. Now, you are aiming to collect the collectibles, right? But it's just something to consider if you are doing something where you really want them to understand the negative or the negative, the opposite, whatever you want to call it. You just maybe want to consider that. You know, each template has its own pros and cons, and so this is one of those things that I find that I just use one, and that's fine, but it's, again, up to you. Now here, on the bottom here, is our music. You can click these little purple triangle buttons, play buttons, to play a sample of the song, and then you can click that little plus button to have it actually apply to your game. You can see that it has been applied when it has this little check mark, and that's how you know it's in your game. If you want no music, click no music, because all of our templates have a default song. You can see I didn't actually click anything on, but this is part of the game, and so if I didn't want that to be on, then I would click no music, and it turns right off. There's no more plus, right? But if I don't click anything and I want no music, it will apply the default song. So just make sure that you're paying attention to that. Okay, so we're only going to have one level. If I wanted to add a level, I could just click right here and it would say add level. Cool. We've got our avatar, our background, our obstacles, our vowels in the English language is not what we are looking for. So now we are going to say something along the lines of it's time to clean up. Go ahead and grab all the basketballs, grab as many as you can. Let's just go ahead and write this. Game is over. It's time. I guess we maybe would make him a janitor instead of an athlete. I'm not sure that the athletes actually have to do that part, but that's okay. This is a game. It's time to clean up. Go around the court, picking up basketballs, but be careful not to drop any. And technically you're not dropping them, but you're running into them, but that's okay. And then we're just going to say catch or collect basketballs here. Now your score is something, for a lot of them, I find that there is, you can really play with the score here. This one you kind of want to really pay attention, because that means that if I have 100 and each of these are 10, right, and I could make this score whatever I want to make it. I could make it 1, I could make it 1,000, I could make it whatever I want to make it. If I have a completion score of 100 and each of these are 10, that means they have to gather 10 basketballs, which means by the end of it, their little trail will be 10 basketballs long. It would actually be really fun to have this be like 800, so it's 80 basketballs. Maybe we put one basketball has like 50 just to like even things out. But you could have it where they're almost filled up, right? That's just something that you want to think about. When the player is playing the game, are they going to have to run into their thing? Because unlike some of the other games that have the same game mechanics, you stop as soon as you hit the completion score. You don't just keep going as far as you can, right? So you will lose if you don't hit that completion score. You will win the second that you hit it, and then the game is over, right? So it's totally up to you if you want it to feel a little bit more like classic games that we've played in the past. Then you can do that, that's totally fine. It's just something to, again, pay attention to. If you have a level 2 and you want them to get to that level 2, consider that when you're making this game. Oops, I did not click out before I scrolled up. Okay, so now we've got our collectibles, we've got our non-collectibles. We've already seen what this looks like, right? Because we saw the little curly Q. I'm going to go ahead and click a different one of our new sport avatars here, and we're going to see what that looks like. So we're going to go ahead, update, and publish this, and now we're going to play it, and we're going to bring this open. I'm actually going to get out of this here so that my thing runs a little smoother. Okay, So we're going to go ahead and play, and then this is that intro that we input, right? The game is over, it's time to clean up. Go around the court picking up basketballs. Is that double spaced? Hang on, let me pop back over here really quick. Go around the court picking up basketballs. But be careful not to drop any. We're going to publish that. Okay. But be careful not to drop any. And now we're going into the gameplay. So you'll see how these contrast a lot against the background. And now we're going to grab... It looks more like a lollipop, doesn't it? See, this is exactly what I mean by always play with your thing. Always... Sorry, guys. I actually don't like that at all because it just looks like little orange lollipops popping up behind it. Always play your uploads, play your game. I mean, just play your games anyway because, like, you know, even in the default stuff, you might think you've got a great background to contrast with the default stuff. See, as soon as I got 10, I won. I actually hate that. I'm going to delete that one. I don't like that at all. So I'm going to come back in here. I'm going to delete this. And then I'm going to go ahead and come into here. And this was my blue guy. So I'm going to fully delete him. Didn't like it at all. So now let's go ahead and try the purple guy. And we'll see what this looks like. Because this one is the double basketball. See, my memory is terrible. I already can't remember which is which. All I know is it's not the straight one, because that straight one definitely did not work the way I thought it was going to work. So, let's see. Oh, and see, look at that. On this one, you can barely even see them, because I didn't do it, you know, I need to change the color on it. You can see it better on the blue, but I also don't love that much. Yeah, and so they're just kind of, it's fine, but I might leave that one. Oops, oh well. I think I'll leave that one there, but I think that the winner here is good old yellow shirt, or classic. So now we're going to go back and see one more time. And it just takes a little bit of playing with, right? And as you go through, and you're making better games. And now, of course, you're welcome to use any of the ones that we have, our default avatars. See, I think that looks so much cleaner, don't you? Oh, dang it. Let's try not to get carded. Look at all those basketballs. Oh, I think that's so cool. All right, that's kind of a better one. Although, to be honest... I think I like the first one the best. The my original with the other head that is picking up basketballs that are just massive. Dunk. I have no idea how many I've collected now. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I kind of think I like that first one, the original one here, and then I'm going to show you again what this looks like just because we can. And then I'm going to show you really quick how, and we're getting a little bit low on time, so I'm going to try and hurry through that, but I'm going to show you how to get that rose kind of thing going, because it can be just a little bit complicated. I also like his avatar more. Yeah, I think I like this better. But yeah, his avatar is also better. Okay, we're back. We won't play with that anymore. So now we've got this game. Yay, so cool. You would go through and also add a title. You would add a description. I often have the same description as my intro, especially if this is just an entertainment game and I only have one level. That's going to be the same thing, right? So I basically do the same thing. You can decide to collect player email if you want to. So if you wanted to, maybe you have like a fantasy basketball. I assume that happens. I know fantasy football is a thing. I assume fantasy basketball is a thing. Maybe you have that and you want to collect player emails to maybe reach out to them and say, hey guys, I saw you liked my game. Do you want to join our league? That's cool. Maybe you even have something where you are facilitating and so they pay you. Cool. I don't know. Whatever your thing is. Yay. Let's go ahead and update that. Now, I'm gonna bring this over to here. So what I did with this particular asset was this is one thing, this is actually one single image that I separated. So I went essentially like this. Now I couldn't find this guy again, but I did go like this. So I'm gonna go ahead and just add a second thing. And what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to make this nice and big, and then let's bring this in so you can see this a little bit better. And then I am going to duplicate, put it directly on top, and then I'm going to crop this. So I'm going to bring this all the way up to right under where those little baby leaves are, and on this side I'm going to bring it all the way down until it meets, and you can see that little, I don't know if you guys can see it, it turns into a little like pink dotted line right there on the top. That's how I know that they're at the exact same spots, right? This part is not a paid aspect of Canva. You can totally do this part on Canva, not a problem. And if you want to do it on Canva and you don't want to pay and you don't want to do the whole process of getting another thing to cut out the backgrounds, that's fine. You can totally do it. It'll just have the little bit of a square. I find that it looks really professional like this, so it's just my personal opinion or my personal preference. Now, I am going to make, there we go, my avatar, my rose, really big as I can make it. Just like that. Okay. And then I'm going to make this guy as big as I can make it. And I'm going to line it up. I'm going to back this off a little bit. So now you can see my avatar is going to come around and he's going to collect roses. He's essentially going to look like this as it continues to grow, right? So I love this, but what I did find when I was creating this guy was that having a tiny bit of color, this teeny tiny little rosebud, actually wait, let me go, I don't want to move him, we're going to duplicate, made a huge difference in the way that it looked. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add this, I'm going to flip it, no, not horizontal. No, oh my goodness. Oh, right, because I just need to dunk. We do want to flip it horizontal. Yes, all right. So now here, just like this. Now this is going to be small enough. Actually, that kind of looks like it goes there anyway. It's going to be small enough that even if there are little kind of lines like this, really most likely that you're not going to see it. Now, of course, make sure that you go through and play it, just in case. But for the most part, then you're kind of good here. So I'm going to, it also breaks it up. So like if there's like a big leaf on the one side, it kind of adds a leaf on the other side. I actually think I might do rose leaf. Maybe I'll add this guy up a little bit even. It's not exactly the same. Hang on, do I have one that's a better? We're just going to use that. It's fine. Okay, we are coming down. We're making it nice and small, and then we're going to go like that. Okay, because you can see on this one, right, it's balanced. It's got leaves on either side, and then the little, what's it called, rosebud is here on the side, so it kind of goes dunk, 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 right? On this one, it doesn't have that. Wanted to add it, so now we've got one on one side, one on the other, and then our little rosebud at the bottom. Let me delete this, and then I can duplicate it like that, and that's what it's going to look like. I think that that looks really nice. So we can delete this. I'm going to go ahead and share one more time. We're going to go through this little process here. I'm only going to do pages 3 and 4, and then we're done. Coming up. And honestly, you guys, this one is just so pretty in my opinion. I love it so much. So we're going to go rose, avatar, trails, and turns. That's not how you spell trails. Okay, give me 2 seconds to extract this. Bunk. Trails and turns, extract. Just like that. Okay, now we're going to go back into our editor. So now we're going to go ahead and upload our avatar. Coming into avatars and trails and turns, the rose, open. So now actually it looks really nice. So you can see it looks really nice cut out, but if I wanted to, I could just put it in and this whole square would be filled in, and that's okay too. So now I'm going to add my stem here into the body, and now we're going to add rose. Rose, flower, plant, grow, leaves, petals. All right, that's good enough. Oh, that would be really cute to do one where you're collecting petals and then the petals show up behind you. Great idea. Oh my gosh, we're gonna have to do that. All right, so we've got another thing. I did leave it public because I think this is really cute and people should be able to use it. So now we're going to go ahead and do that. So I'm gonna pop out of this and pop back in so that we're creating a new game, and I have the other one available. So now, have I already uploaded grass? I have uploaded grass. So we're gonna do this. This might be too detailed. There might be too much grass detail in this, but we'll see. So now we're going to come down. We've got our really beautiful thing. This rose was the rose that I put in originally that didn't have the extra rosebud. Sorry guys. This row does have the rosebud, and the difference is huge. Like honestly, it's one of those really small things that you wouldn't expect. Now we're going to change our collectibles. We're going to do water, and we're going to do sun, because that's what these need to grow, right? I'm going to get rid of that A-E-I-O-U just like we did earlier. Oops. I missed one of my suns. I wanted this one as well. And then actually there was another water in there. Let's go ahead and add that. Doesn't really go, actually. I don't think that avatar or that asset goes with this. And then in here, I forget what I added as a non-collectible, but we will leave it as fire because fires and roses don't mix. So we'll leave it like that. We've got our collectibles, we've got our non-collectibles, and then I can come into my introduction and say something like, roses need water and sun to grow. Collect these to grow your stem, right? Perfect. And then in here, catch sun and water. And then we'll just keep everything else the same. I will do my info in a little bit, so I will add my title and I'll go through and add a description and all of that good stuff, but for time's sake, we will skip that. And then I'm gonna come in and I'm just gonna open it up. So here, I'm going to play roses need water and sun to grow. Collect these to grow your stem. Let's see how this flower does against this background. Oh, that's not bad. Let's see. Oh, no! I don't like that. So this is not bad. You can see how nice that looks though, but you can't quite see the stem, right? You can, and you can see that little red, tiny little red rosebud makes a big difference, right? I don't know if that makes as big a difference for you guys as it does for me, but I feel like that little tiny piece of red just makes the whole thing, oh, so much better. Okay, so we're not going to finish this whole game. That's totally fine. I am going to try out one different background so that we can see if that would look better. I don't want that one. This one. Hit and publish. We're going to go ahead and play it, and we'll see how that looks. But so essentially, that's how you make your Trails and Turn avatars, right? You just want to make sure that the avatar itself is big enough for them to see. And, oh no, oh my goodness. It is kind of funny that we're gathering suns and avoiding fire, considering. See, it's a little bit easier to see on this one. Oh, I think this looks so pretty. This is actually a really great game to make for Valentine's Day. If you wanted them collecting or having their roses grow and collecting other roses, collecting chocolates, collecting hearts, I love yous, blah, 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 right? Super cute game, super awesome. This obstacle was really great against this background. I maybe even would make it this one or the one that we were using, like maybe this or the brick, just because the rose is so red that the contrast is really nice. But up to you guys, completely up to you. And then we're coming back to our Breshna page. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us this Breshna Breakdown. Again, we will be back next week, same time. It's 11 a.m. Pacific and 2 p.m. Eastern. So we come down, we break down every part of the Breshna editor, and we have so many different avatars, or so many different templates rather, and I cannot wait. Next week we're going to totally get into Tap Tumble because I love it when we have new game templates. So now we don't have 22, we have 23. Yay! And I know they're already working on a couple of other templates because I've brought up a couple of ideas that were like, wouldn't this be such a cool idea for this template? And they're like, yeah, it's in the works already. But thanks for the suggestion. If you come all the way down to the Breshna, on the Breshna homepage, you'll see that you can either email us info@gamingfordev, you can start a conversation here and just kind of fill in this little guy, or you can book a live demo session with us, and we're happy to be there. We'll spend about half an hour with you creating your first game, helping you brainstorm, whatever it is that you need. We will be happy to help you with that. It is completely free. It's half an hour, and you just click book, and that's it. All right, guys, thank you so much for being game. I will see you next week, and